I'm not normally a very jealous person, but every once in a while I notice jealousy rearing its head. And I've been around the block enough times to recognize that when something is bothering me, when it gets under my skin, when it's something that annoys me, there's something for me to learn from it. So while I'd like to ignore it and make it go away or pretend that it can go away, I know it's not going to. This is a messenger for me, right? So the other day, I'm in my Facebook feed, and there is this woman who shows up, and I found myself, she was talking about something really great that happened to her, something really amazing for her business. And in my heart, I want to be happy for her, and I'm not. And I don't like that, right? I don't like seeing that. I don't like noticing that. I feel like a bad person when I think unkind thoughts about someone. And I recognize that the stream of thought was something along the lines of, it's not fair. How come she gets that and I don't? It's very whiny, this part of myself. And the reason why I'm confessing this and sharing this with you is because I suspect it happens to all of us now and then, whether we admit it or not. And I think it's good for me, it's good for my soul to admit this to you. So I've noticed this trend that when this happens, it's usually women. They're usually very positive and very successful, and they have a real presence. And so I was asking myself, why are these women in particular bothering me? Because there are plenty of people out there who could bother me, but these ones are. What is it about them? What is it in me that, why am I resenting their success and the fact that they're sharing it? And I didn't feel like I was really getting very far. And the reason it came to me, I went for a walk. A lot of times I'll go for a walk or do some exercise with the intention of working something out, sort of in the back of my mind. And it almost always comes. And so I realized that, for one thing, it was complicated by another thought about the thought. So it wasn't just enough that I was experiencing these thoughts and feelings in response to these women who were sharing their success. And they shouldn't be doing that. But then I started judging myself for the thought. Oh, having that thought means you're a bad person, Stephanie. So there's something wrong with you. Why aren't you happy for them? And so not only was I having this thought that made me unhappy, I was having this thought about the thought that made me unhappy. And you can see that we could just keep layering thoughts and thoughts and thoughts that keep me in these loops of unhappiness. Because when I think those things, I feel resentful. I feel small. I feel distant. That's not how I want to be feeling. So I've been playing around a lot with and working with Byron Katie's work. You can look that up, Byron Katie. There's a book called Loving What Is that is very powerful. So this exercise I did with myself is based on that. And I wasn't really getting anywhere, as I said, with why. I was asking the wrong question. Why am I feeling this way? We can dig that hole forever. And it's deep, and it's dark, and it's ugly. So instead, I started using what I'd learned from Byron Katie and saying, what is it? What is the thought? And I discovered that underneath this thought, they shouldn't be doing this, they shouldn't have this, which didn't make sense to me. There was another truer, deeper thought that was, I should have what they have. So the thought that was really tormenting me was, I should have that success. I should have that visibility. I should have these things that they have. And so when I questioned that thought, is that really true? That I should have those things? The answer I come up with is no. I don't really know that I should have those things. The reality is I don't have those things. And so I shouldn't, because I don't. So immediately I start to get a little more freedom there. And then I ask myself the question, how do I feel when I think that I should have those things too? It's not fair. I should have those things. Well, I already told you, I don't feel very good. I feel small. I feel petty. I feel icky about myself. I don't like myself when I think that. The next question is there any reason that I can think of to keep that thought that's peaceful? That I should have that? You know, at first it seems like I could say, yeah, I could keep that thought, I should have that because it will drive me, but it's driving me in a way that it's trying to fill a hole. Like there's something missing in me, like there's something I don't have. So no. Who would I be without that thought? Without that thought, I'd be happy for them. I'd be celebrating them. I'd be inspired by them to do what they do. And this exercise is really helpful for me because jealousy, when it does come into my life, it's not comfortable. And I judge myself for it. But I think it's actually a sign of something I want to give myself and haven't yet. I often say this to Jeff, my husband. I'll say, you know the difference between me and Oprah Winfrey? I'll say there's really only one main difference. I'd really say this to him. She did a whole bunch of things that I didn't do. And I like looking at it that way because it really levels the playing field. Now, obviously, there are many differences between myself and someone like Oprah Winfrey or anyone else on the planet. But what that does is it says to me, if I did those things she did, I'd have what she has. I do the things that I've done, and therefore I have what I have. It's sort of like, it's just cause and effect. Bing, bing, right? The consequences of my actions. And when I think about it that way, it's not as much about what's fair or judging me for who I am or things that I'm lacking or things that I haven't done. It's just, this is what I did, this is what I got. This is what she did, this is what she got. That's the difference. And if I want different things, well, then I need to take different actions. So for me, it's very empowering. And the whole point of that exercise is to be free. So if there is something that's bothering you right now, in particular, is there something that makes you jealous? Someone who makes you jealous? It's a good idea to reflect about that, reflect on it, and just ask yourself, what's the thought that's causing you pain here? Just examine the thought, not why you're thinking it. What is the thought? And you might turn to Byron Katie's The Work. You can look that up online. You can learn about it there or read that book, Loving What Is. In fact, I listened to it as an audiobook, which I highly recommend because you hear these amazing conversations that are often quite hysterically funny with people when she's working with them using these questions. It's just asking questions. And just notice it. And please don't beat yourself up for it like I was doing. It feels so much better to stop and say, okay, there's a thought. It doesn't mean anything about me unless I want it to. And that's just another thought that doesn't work for me. So I know I'm kind of going in circles a little bit here. I hope that this is helpful. But I do believe that those people and things we're jealous of are messengers, helping us identify thoughts that just probably aren't working for us so well anymore.